Thank you, Commissioner,
Thank you.
for participating today. This is such a long hours that you've been sitting and enduring, so thank you. And thank you for your service, too. Having said that, American families and small businesses are having a hard time trusting in the IRS. Our constituents should not have to fear that the IRS might come after them. Per previous data, TIGTA, Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, half of large corporate audits result no change. The article from this morning titled, "The Surprising Risk in Ramping Up IRS Audits," according to that article, states that nearly half of those making $10 million or more who were audited saw no changes in their tax bills in 2018. 13% of audits of people making between $100,000 to $200,000 were no change audits in 2018, IRS data show. More than 1 in 4 people with income between $1 million and $5 million were given clear bills of health. And almost half of audits of corporations with at least $1 billion in assets found they owed nothing more. Why are so many Americans being audited for no reason? This article, that the surprising risk in ramping up IRS audits, saying that could be because of the IRS is picking the wrong people to audit, or it doesn't have the right specialist to go toe-to-toe with big law and accounting firms, though we are not really sure. So we all kind of like questioning that. Sounds like a problem is not needing more money or doing more audits, but one of wasted resources. Commissioner, how will you ensure that the correct people are getting audited in the first place?
Yeah, so the objective, Congresswoman, is equitable tax enforcement, right? We should be able to demonstrate to the American people that no matter what your means are and no matter how complicated your return is, the IRS is treating you the same. So just because your return is simpler to review doesn't mean you should be more likely to get an audit. If your return is more complicated to review, we should be equally equipped. And currently, we're not equally equipped. The reason, I believe, my hypothesis is the reason why you see zero balance due audits is because we don't have the right capacities today to unlock these complex returns in an effective way. And there isn't a lot of audit coverage. In fact, we are at historic low audits across the board, including for the wealthiest, most taxpayers.
So historically what you're saying is zero balances because of that didn't have enough, sufficient enough.
We need the right economists, data scientists, attorneys. We need to tap into the people that know how these returns were constructed. The world is moving very quickly in terms of the complexity of these corporations.
But isn't the staff supposed to be trained for that?
We haven't had the resources to train.
People? So you are not training your people for
not as effectively as we could. We haven't had the funds to train. We have a staffing level pre-Inflation Reduction Act that's equivalent to where we were in the 1970s. We have not had enough resources to meet the requirements of today's tax system. And with these resources and being able to train and hire the right mix of people, I anticipate that we will not have as many zero balance due audits in the future. And when we don't, it's going to be a tremendous return for the taxpayer. And that's why I think repealing the IRA costs so much in the eyes of the Congressional Budget Office. Because if the plan is to engage at that level, a 2%, a 3%, a 4% improvement in some of these metrics will easily pay for what the Inflation Reduction Act investment is.
Then why don't you just reduce the audits and just go really dig in those people that you are auditing instead of those 2%, 3%, and you don't have to increase those numbers on that?
It's a great question. I think, and it was another Congresswoman asked the question as well. I think we do have to optimize. It isn't about quantity. It isn't about doing more audits of wealthy taxpayers. It's doing the right audits and making sure that we have the right balance and the right optimized approach to how we examine the wealthiest taxpayers. We are not optimized right now. We are leaving money on the table.
Mr. Chairman, actually, I prepared 5 different questions, but it seems like my time is already up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do in writing and ask for these questions.
Perfect. Please submit your questions into writing, and
so
I would like that. Thank you.
we'll have that.